When we are children, our parents tell us not to talk about shit. This is a really serious problem. What you don't talk about, you cannot improve. A lot of people call me Mr. Toilet. I'm really proud when I hear that because it gives an identity to the work that I do. 40% of the world population still do not have access to a simple toilet.
Shit is like fire. If you manage properly, the fire can cook your meal. If you don't manage it, it burns down your house. If you manage shit, it becomes a fertilizer. If you don't manage it, it kills you.
About 90% of all the surface water in India are contaminated by feces. 1.5 million children under 5 a year in the world die unnecessarily. You have to have clean water, you have to have safe sanitation. A rich man staying next to a slum. The flies doesn't know a poor man from a rich man. So the rich man is probably eating the shit of the poor man. You better help them get toilets or you will eat their shit. Think about it. We are hosting the World Toilet Summit. This has been an international event every year since 2001. The people say, why should I use the toilet? It's fresh air outside. I can chit-chat with my friend while I'm squatting there. Our big breakthrough will happen when we look at the poor as if they are customers. When we have to sell them products that are very beautiful and sexy. Once this becomes object of desire, if you don't have, you're not keeping up with the Jonases. We want toilets to become a status symbol for the poor so that they feel proud to own a toilet. Just like a Louis Vuitton handbag. So really, we are actually breaking the taboo on sanitation in the global news. World Toilet Day is 19 November every year. We have the big squad. We are protesting the plight of the 2.5 billion people that still do not have access to a toilet. The fact is, I think about toilet every moment. A life is only 80 years. I'm 52. If I'm going to spend 28 years consuming ostentatiously just to have a diamond watch that I can't read the time because it's too sparkling, it makes no sense. Doing social work that is creating some impact, I think it's better to die like that. I think we can see the day that everybody on planet Earth will have access to clean toilets any day, anytime. Thank you. Thank you. When Paul Harris founded the Rotary Club, the first project that he did was a public toilet. That was more than 100 years ago. And the reason he did that was because toilets were unspeakable and neglected. Today, it's still neglected. One of the reasons is that sanitation is bundled together underwater. So when you bundle sanitation with water, it goes underwater. And people talk always about water, and they don't talk about shit. But now I'm in Australia, so I'm okay, right? So I founded the World Toilet Organization in 2001 on the 19th of November. And I thought if we want to talk about toilets, we should play a pun on the World Trade Organization and call ourselves the WTO. It works really well, and because everybody believes that we are also in charge of small and big businesses. So over the years, we created a series of World Toilet Summit that started in Singapore, and then in Korea, Taiwan, Beijing, um, in India, in Moscow, in America, South Africa, last year in Indonesia, and this will be in Singapore again. We also train people to start business to produce toilet and sell. Of course, we also have a very handsome person endorsing our program. Last year, the United Nations General Assembly finally adopted our founding day, 19th of November, as the UN World Toilet Day. This is because all countries have toilet problems, whether they are developed countries like Australia or poor countries and developing countries like India, Africa. There are a lot of issues there, and this is endorsed by unanimously 193 countries. We also started Sani Shop, a micro franchise that teach the poor to produce toilet and to sell it. We think that donating toilets is too difficult to solve a scale of 2.5 billion people. So instead of giving something, it's better to build their capacity, to train them to start a business that make profit, employ people, and deliver public health continuously. So if you were to want to help anyone, help them help themselves. So So after we teach them to produce toilet, the people start to buy toilet. This is a factory, open air factory, costing 2,000 US dollar per factory. And those are the housewife who became our sales girl, and they earn $2 every time they sell a toilet. So when you create jobs, you create gender equality because the woman who went home with money gets a lot of respect from their husband and especially their mother-in-laws. So we thought that if we could solve sanitation problem by teaching them to start little business, why not solve all poverty problems in the world, where they need solar lamps, cook stove, housing, everything, water, sanitation, education. So we see that the pyramid divides the world this way. There are 7 billion people in the world, and 3 billions are people like us at the top of the pyramid. And the other 4 billion are at the base of the pyramid. And these people, on average, earn about $2.50 US a day, but they are outside our formal economy. If we want to solve this problem, we have to include them into our formal economy. If we see them as 4 billion new customers instead of 4 billion poor people, the timing is perfect because the West is not buying so much products and businesses are very interested to sell now to new customers. And the trend is growing. There are good models that exist. And we want to build the ecosystem. But right now, everything is distorted. The UN and the donors and the multinationals and the NGOs and the universities, they're not talking to each other. We are all working in silos. And when you work in silos, you waste a lot of opportunity that can be gotten from collaboration. So what the World Toilet Organization started now is to incubate BOP Hub that creates a machine that coordinates everybody to come together. So it goes beyond sanitation now. How do we make everybody use each other's political relationship, business acumen, distribution channels, and technologies, and funding? So if this whole world work together, collaboratively, everything will become cheaper, faster, better, easier. They need to deliver energy, jobs, housing, water, ICT, cell phone is now selling very well. In fact, there are more cell phones than toilets in the world today. They need transportation, logistic, nutrition, entertainment, mosquito net, medical devices. All these products, Rotarians are expert in, and you can bring your talents and your know-how to help build the BOP market. Once you have ideas, you can spread it like fractals, and it just repeats itself, and the world will solve its problem if we all collaborate together. The BOP Hub offers 4 pillars. First, we have a convention in Singapore on the 28th to 30th of August this year. We'd like everybody to come and collaborate and solve this problem through trade and an ecosystem that drives the economy of the poor. Then we'll find all the good models and accelerate it, replicating them everywhere, and build a shared services center which helps all the stakeholders to take away their non-core competence work, those boring stuff, and administrate for them. Then finally, to build a design center in Singapore to serve the whole world in coordinating this solution. When everybody come together, we cut wastages in time, technology, money. We can even co-buy together and get cheaper price in larger volume and distribute it in wider geography. So what we think is right now, investor invest in the fastest horse, in the best. But when we invest in winners, we forget about the losers. The losers are also people, and they should not be considered losers. Instead of thinking the fastest horse, we should think of using everybody as an ecosystem. Big or small animal make a whole economy. So if we think of mobilizing everybody, if you see nature ecosystem, there is no waste. If you see human society, capitalism, it's a lot of waste. If we go back to think about everybody as part of a whole spectrum of ecosystem, we can live a better world together. So this is the BOP World Convention this year, August in Singapore. The Deputy Prime Minister opens it, and he will share how Singapore turned from a poor country in 1965 to a first world country in 1990. In mere 25 years, it's possible to transform a country that is really poor into a rich country. We will share on workshop, training, matchmaking, how to make this happen. And here are all the sectors that you can cover and beyond. This is the story. In Singapore, 1965, I lived in the house that is gray in color. Of course, it was also in 4 color, but the photograph that day was. And then 25 years later, it became a first world country. So we say, teach a man to fish. Nothing is for free. You have to work for it, but we'll use vocational training to teach people skills so that they can be ready for investors, they can start their own business, and they could have dignity in improving their own life. If we were to coordinate together, all the supply and all the demand in the BOP can be coordinated. The poor don't have to borrow money at 36% interest a year. They don't have to buy water at 5 cents per 20 liters when we get free water from the tap because we are rich. The poor always pay more, and this poverty penalty can be eliminated if we include them in our formal economy. Finally, I'm building this $12 million building that will coordinate all design around the world and to help other hubs around the world to also solve this problem. The BOP Design Center will work 24 hours, 7 days a week, and 365 days a year. We only rest on the leap year. This will become a timeless zone, and we can coordinate the design together with America, Australia, Africa, India, all over the world. And people will be very collaborative. We'll have lots of coffee, and if they want to sleep, we do have the Japanese capsule hotel as well. Our end result is that we want to deliver happy, healthy, educated, dignified, and loving family. The purpose of all our work at Rotary Club and Rotary International is to improve life, is to improve the situation in the world so that we don't have fellow human beings living in animal state. So whatever we are doing goes beyond our ego, goes beyond scoring, because our life is only a short span, 80, 90, if you're lucky, 100 years. But if you count the remaining days you have on this planet, it's actually very few. And that creates an urgency to make it useful. Thank you very much.